It's live.
All right. Today's educational centers throughout the United States are huge organizations with billions of dollars in their endowment funds and huge sprawling campuses. They're not just places to learn, but they're really, really big campuses which have billions and billions of dollars. And if you look at the names of the donors who give towards these universities, you'll find lots of Jewish names. You'll find Goldstein and Silverstein and Cohen and Einstein and Levin, all kinds of Jewish names. But if you go to a yeshiva, yeshivas don't have billions of dollars in endowment funds. They don't have dormitories which are, like five-star hotels. And the question is, how come people are so free to donate to college campuses or to, entertainment centers and then there aren't, and to research centers, but to our yeshivas, we don't have that same kind of philanthropy. People don't give as much of their dollars towards our own needs, the Jewish people. We're more free to give to all other kinds of things out there. Where does that come from? So in this week's Torah portion, we learn about the laws of honest measures. It used to be many years ago, before there was digital weights. If you want to buy a pound of salami, what would you do? You take a stone, and you would put the salami on one end and the stone on the other end. And the stone you knew weighed 1 pound, and you would add salami until the scale measured up, and then it worked. So the Torah tells us this week, you have to make sure to have honest measures. You cannot have a stone which you're saying is a 1 pound stone, and really let's say it's a ½ pound, because you want to sell less salami for the same price. Or if you're a buyer, you may want to get 2 pounds. So you get a stone which weighs ½ pound, and you're officially buying, so you're putting them, the Torah says be careful to only have honest measures. Right after the Torah talks about honest measures, the Torah then talks about the attack of the sworn enemy of the Jewish people, a nation that has caused us trouble throughout history. The nation is, anyone know? Who the Torah talks? Amalek. Very good, exactly. So it says in the Talmud that these two subjects are related to each other. If you have dishonest measures, if you're not going to be honest in business, then Amalek will attack you. That's what the Talmud says. The question is, why is that? What does honest measures have to do with the attack of Amalek? What's the connection between them? So I'm going to share with you 3 explanations today. Each of them has a very deep insight for ourselves in our lives. The first explanation of the clay is the Klei Yakar. Klei Yakar explains like this. He says that the Torah uses expression over here, don't have a stone and a stone. And he says, the Torah is talking about 2 kinds of stones. An honest stone, or the correct stone, a stone which actually weighs what is purported to be, and another dishonest stone. The guy has 2 stones. He has 1 stone he shows some customers to keep himself in business. He has another stone that he does, yes, sir. Exactly. No, but here, the guy wants to stay in business. It says in the Talmud, any lie which doesn't have a little bit of truth mixed into it doesn't last. He wants to make sure that his lie lasts, and therefore doesn't cheat everybody. He'll get out of business very quickly. So he has 1 stone that he pretends this is the stone he uses, but he doesn't always use that stone. Some of the people who buy from him, he uses a different stone. By the way, I just want to point out, the Torah actually says when you sell something by a weight, you should add a little bit. In order to make sure that you're being honest, the Torah says don't just give exactly what was purchased, but always supposed to add a little bit. You're supposed to give the buyer a little bit more one that they purchased, especially even today's exact digital scales they could also over time not be so exact. So the Torah always says to give a little more, but the situation is very simple. The guy sells to 100 people, and he sells to 80 of them with the honest weight, and the 20 of them not. And the 20 people come to the court and they say, this guy stole from us. The court says, well, what's your claim? He says, look, I sold to so many people, all of them telling me I give them the right measure everybody else. The court says, let's see your stone. Here's my stone. Oh, the stone works. This is the stone. This is the stone I use for everybody. So what's really terrible about this is that the guy is pretending to be honest in the eyes of people, but between him and God is not honest. He's not afraid of God's eye. He's only afraid of what people think. So because he's keeping all this negative energy in himself, he's doing all these terrible things between him and God. So the Torah says that the nation of Amalek will attack him. What's unique about Amalek? Amalek was a nation that had open hatred, open anti-Semitism, clear anti-Semitism. They never hid their hatred. There's an author named James Baldwin spoke. A lot of blacks prefer to live in the north and not in the south. Why? Because in the south, although they had segregated buses and they had segregated schools, and if you were black, you were considered, a pariah. But in the north, the societal norms of the whites was worse. You could live wherever you want. You could do business wherever you want. But there was such a strong sense of hatred that you were unwelcome if you were black. So a lot of blacks said, if I'm in the south, I know what game you're playing. In the north, all the whites in the north, they had such a deeper kind of hatred.
I didn't know if you wanted to try to see if you turn your phone sideways, maybe. So I didn't know if this.
Sorry. So in a similar way, the Even Ezra says, the Chayakra says the issue over here is that the guy is doing a secret it's a deeper inner problem. He's pretending to be kosher, he's not kosher. That's the reason, by the way, that the non-kosher animal, the most famous non-kosher animal, what's so bad about it? The Torah says to be kosher, you have to have two signs. One sign is you have split hooves. The other sign is you chew your cud. The pig puts out its feet and says, look, I'm kosher, I have split hooves. But inside, he ain't kosher. So therefore, that's why that's what the Talmud says. So in a similar way, the guy, he acts kosher, he puts out the weights, look at my kosher weight, but deep down there's some inner problem there. So therefore the Torah says, what's the retribution for him? The consequences of that activity? That someone who was an open anti-Semite comes and takes away and everything that belongs to him. The enemy attacks, chassidus, God forbid. That's how the Kli Yakar explains it. Then there's another explanation of the Netziv. Netziv writes, very interesting thing. He says, what are the three sins the Torah says that you rather die rather than commit any of the three sins? Anyone know? What are the three? The Torah says there's three situations. It's better to die rather than go against the Torah. And survey says murder, adultery, and idol worship. Very good. There are three kinds of reasons a person can make a mistake. Either because of passion, or because of anger, or because they're missing faith. Idol worship
is from inside. So what you say, everything is from the inside.
It comes from the inside. So the head, the top of the ultimate expression of anger is murder. The ultimate expression of passion the wrong way is adultery. And the ultimate expression of lack of faith is actually to put your head down in front of an idol and pray to an idol. This guy who has the false measures, he is really leading towards the idolatry. He is saying, God can't take care of me unless I don't play by the rules. God made rules, and he's the one who sustains the whole world. As we're about to say after we finish eating, we'll say, Hazanat Olam Kulo, God feeds the whole world. But he says, God's not going to take care of me. The rules don't work. The only way to make things work is to break the rules. I can't get by with the rules. I can't get by if I don't break Shabbat. I can't get by if I'm so honest. So the Torah says that's why Amalek attacks him. What's Amalek? The Hebrew word for Amalek is numerical equivalent to the word Safek. Very good. Safek. The Cohens are answering questions for everybody else over here. They feel at home. But the home court advantage. the Amalek and Safek both equal to 240. Everyone, but you should know they want everyone to feel at home, so everyone should have the home court advantage. Amalek is numerically equivalent to 240, and also the word Safek, which is 240. What's Safek mean? Safek means doubt. It's doubt. It's not that you don't believe, it's that you have a doubt. And it's really very insidious and subtle. It sounds like it's not such a big deal, you're not so sure, But really the doubt, when you have a doubt about something, it makes you cold. The Torah says that Amalek attacked us on the road out of Egypt. The road out of Egypt means the road towards getting better in your life, doing things better than you did yesterday, going out of your limitations. What stops you from making that move forward and doing things with more where you want to be? You have a doubt. Do I really need to do this right now? Is this mitzvah really important? Does God really? He asks you three questions, Amalek. First of all, he asks you, who says Hashem wants this mitzvah? Second of all, he asks you, even if Hashem wants this mitzvah, he says he wants it today. And even if he wants this mitzvah, he wants it today, who says he means you? And this doubt, this question, is what makes everything, all the problems. And so in guarding the false measures, the guy thinks he sees the man that is in the desert. In the desert, the Netziv says there's no business in the desert. They had everyone came out of Egypt with tremendous wealth. The problem was that everyone may have known then that God will take care of them. People thought things will change once we go into Israel. Once the miracles will stop, God will not continue to sustain us when things go in a natural way. It's kind of like the famous joke about the guy looking for a parking space. He's looking for a parking space. He's driving along, going around the block 60 times. He says, God, if you give me a parking space, I promise you, I will send my kids to a Jewish school. Give me a parking space, I will never go to McDonald's again, not to Burger King. Maybe if I'm Burger King, yes. But I will never do it. I'll only eat kosher. And then all of a sudden a space opens up. Forget it. I found the space already. You get it? The idea is it's a joke, but it's real. We often make a mistake. We often make the mistake. Give me 5 more minutes, I'll let you go. We often make the mistake and we think that Hashem is with us in miracles, but when things go in a natural way, things go in an order of nature, it seems like Hashem's not with us anymore. The Torah tells us you have to remember Amalek and realize that even when you're doing business in a regular, down-to-earth way and according to the rules of nature, Hashem gives us success in nature that's beyond nature. That's a second explanation. Here's a third explanation. This is from the Rebbe. Let's say, for example, a father wants to go on vacation, a son wants to go on vacation, and his father needs something critical. Let's say he's an old age home, he needs something. So the child may say, I'll go on the vacation, who cares about, I need to take care of my vacation. In other words, he has things he considers important. Taking care of his father is important, but there's a different standard of importance when it comes to something that's for him. Something for somebody else, what does it come from? How is it possible a child can go on vacation, leave his father's critical need aside when he's just going on a luxury cruise? Like, why is that more important? The reason is because we have a double standard. It's insidious and it's subtle, but it creeps in that people get different standards. They have different measurements. They measure spiritual things and their values with one level of weight, and they measure their physical needs and their luxuries a different kind of weight. And therefore, it's possible for them to exchange and say, this is really important. This thing, it's not, where does it come from? It comes in slowly. There was Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld. He was a rabbi in Eretz Yisrael in Israel before the war. And he was once on Shabbat at someone's house, and there's a kid who was playing with something which we're not allowed to play with on Shabbat. It was muktzah. So he says, muktzah Shabbat. The father of the boy was not impressed. He says, listen, Rabbi, he's such a kid. He doesn't know. Leave him alone. Relax. Then the kid went into the china closet. Not a toy, put that down. What are you doing? So the rabbi says, so he's just a child. He doesn't know. What's the difference? Clearly, the rabbi and this man felt that in certain situations, you got to be. The question is what they considered important. I'm not saying it was right or not for the rabbi. He just probably like a nervous reaction. He reacted that way. But I'm saying something else. We have different ways of measuring different things. We measure spiritual things with a different yardstick. We measure our physical needs. There was a rabbi named Rabbi Meir Shapiro who once came to this guy and he asked him for a donation for his yeshiva. And the guy said, Rabbi, I had a hard year. I am not helping you this year at all. So Rabbi said to him, if you're not helping me this year, don't help me next year either. So whoa. Listen, you got to realize, Rabbi, business goes up, business goes down. Why are you so insulted? Don't you get it? So Rabbi says, listen, you lost money, but how come the entire hit has to go to the yeshiva? How come you don't say some of the hit should go towards my vacation? Some of the hit should go towards why is the whole thing on the yeshiva? Because you have a different measure. This is extra. This is extra. This is a need. So that's what the Torah says to us. Don't have two kinds of measurements. The Torah tells us that the same weight we put on on our physical needs, you have to have at least the same as spiritual. Really, it doesn't make sense to say the same amount. Really, it should be much more, because our soul is eternal and forever, and all physical things are transient, always changing. So Torah tells us you need to really measure what's important with a different standard, with things which are not important, things are transient. To realize who we are, we're God's children. It's a month of Elul. The king is in the field, He's so receptive to us, and really have an incredible opportunity now before the Rosh Hashanah to come closer to Hashem with Torah, with Tefillah, with Tzedakah, and do things, focus on what's really important now. It's a new year, it's a new beginning. So, l'chaim, Shem Shabbat Shabbos, receive the Torah, b'simtli vav, receive the Hashem Tem Sukkah. L'chaim.